Hello, you're watching Avenue X, and today let's talk about 4 Chinese dramas ongoing January 2024 in one video. The contemporary dramas appear 2 of them from Youku, 你也有今天 My Boss, and from Mango, Our Interpreter 我们的翻译官. The other pair is period fantasy idol drama. One is coming from 爱奇艺仙剑4, literally Chinese Paladin 4, but they're called Sword and Fairy 4. The other one is on Tencent, 起今朝, which is technically Chinese Paladin 6. It's called Sword and Fairy. Very confusing. These 4 dramas happen to cover all 4 major Chinese drama streaming platforms these days. 爱奇艺, Tencent, Youku, and Mango. They are also all 36 episodes long. Only the Mango series, Our Interpreter, is not based on any existing IP. The rest are either based on an existing novel or the game IP. For the contemporary drama pair, Our Interpreter and My Boss, the similarities lies in, obviously, first, both are led by Chen Xingxu, working with Song Qian and working with Zhang Ruonan. And at the core, they're the same type of story, featuring a successful male lead, very good at a professional job, but completely crappy at dealing with personal relationships. Both hold very highly esteemed, posh, white-collar job, current iteration of the overbearing CEO of Asian Dramaland. They also have very similar structure in terms of having friends, sidekicks, second, third, fourth, whatever lead couples to fill up the 36 episode size. Then the paradrama pair, clearly because both of them come from Chinese Paladin game IP. One is 4, one is 6. Both featuring currently high traffic, young, with a quotation mark, they're not that young, actors and actresses. And even in terms of their aesthetics and production quality are almost exactly the same type of period fantasy idol dramas. I'm gonna talk about the contemporary pair first and then the period drama pair later. Also, at the beginning of this, just a generalization of these 4 dramas. My recommendation to audiences is, unless you have specific reasons for watching a particular actor, you're a huge fan of that person, and just looking at them breathing on screen will make you very happy, then obviously going and watch them. But if you are looking for an interesting story, engaging plot, interesting characters, anything that's a slightly unusual or breath of fresh air, anything in that department, then you can completely skip all 4 dramas. And they are all, in my opinion, yesterday's egg fried rice, which is you can still eat it, you can put it in microwave and heat it up and it's not gonna kill you, but hiya, there's no extra value. So let's start with the contemporary pair. Before you go into these 2 dramas, you should know that if you're sensitive to light and very bright things, you need to wear sunglasses to watch these 2 dramas. Both of them are extremely brightly lit, and their sets also turn to be extremely sterile and white and pale. And the actors also get strong skin smoothing. So you would see plastic-like skin, almost no detail, no pores, no shadows on the face. And because it's constantly extremely bright, don't watch it in a very dark environment, it's really gonna hurt your eyes. On the Youku side, it keeps that tradition of color grading everything more towards the blue, magenta, less yellow side. So things will look cooler and crispier and making Asian people's skin look paler than Caucasian people. Then on the Mango side, I guess because Mango is orange, so they just color grade everything more towards the warmer side, and they love to use that glowy look as if light is leaking through the frame. Think about it as pretty much every shot they add 10% of glow effect on everybody's skin. Then in terms of what is different about these 2 dramas, I would say if you have to pick between these 2 dramas, pick the My Boss Youku one. It's slightly more interesting, funnier. Characters have a better engagement with each other and also with the audience. And when it comes to professional field, when it concerns lawyers and law firm and cases, at least in My Boss, occasionally reasonable cases show up. Discussions about law, about morals, about the meaning of being a lawyer and justice, those kind of discussions occasionally happens. Not going to great depth, but at least it's some thoughtful discussion that you will see occasionally happen. Whereas once you look at Interpreter, really there's just hardly any valuable professional discussion going on between the characters about anything. Between the 2 leads, the only way that they can have any contact is completely through all kinds of accidentally falling and catching the other person. And then the supporting roles and the second and the third lead couple, if there are, that part of the story is completely boring in our interpreter, played by actors who are completely not interesting to look at on themselves, also their relationship. So, entertainment value-wise, if you have to pick My Boss. Also, there's one thing about our interpreter that makes it very hard for me to watch. Every episode starts with a poetry reciting from the female lead, as in English. And it's very, very bad English. Not just in accent-wise, but also sometimes even grammatical mistakes and literally dropping certain letters that should be in the word. In my opinion, is if you are playing a professional interpreter who is doing oral interpretation real time at big conference, just think about UN level. Then I don't think that it's unreasonable to require you be able to speak the language you speak to a very close to, if not 100%, but usually actually translators and interpreters would be actually speaking their native tongue in the language that they speak out. They may be translating other languages that are not their first language, but then they would be speaking in their first language. That's usually how it works. You need to be like really good, right? Pretty much native level to do a professional job that pays you very highly. Yet at the beginning of every episode, oh my god, that poetry reciting was so bad. These days in China, if you come from a really good high school, your English will be better than that, period. Okay, so that one thing just completely destroys all the professionalism, in my opinion, of that drama. So these are the two contemporary dramas that I've watched all into the teen numbers episodes and decided not to continue. And both are the type of professionalism on surface, but at the core just a very tropey, nothing new, egg fried rice from days ago romantic contemporary drama. At the end of that, I would only express one sad thing that I constantly feel when I was watching both dramas, and I've mentioned that during my last week's Thursday live stream, which is I feel really bad for the actor Chen Xingxu. This is not his only similar to this contemporary romantic drama. He has another one he just wrapped with Zhang Yuxi where he plays a doctor and almost looks exactly like these two dramas, and that's from iQIYI. So he's doing one of such dramas with each platform somehow, I don't know why. When he first got into everybody's view and got famous was back in the days of the 2019 Goodbye My Princess Donggong, where he played this not a good guy as the male lead, but very charismatic and interesting. Even though it's still within the idol period drama land, at least has layers, has complicated arcs, has a lot of juicy part that's worth any actor's hard work and digging into it. And I'm pretty sure he had a lot of fun playing that role. It's a substantial male lead role. That's the best drama he's been in so far. Ever since then, everything he's been in are, such as that Mingguo drama with Zhang Jingyi that everybody laughed at because it looks so cheap and fake. Such as the unfortunately still hasn't seen daylight and probably never will BL drama. He did do the truth drama that's a prosecutor and that has a much more realistic lens and look on things and grittier and heavier, but the story itself isn't that engaging. So basically, ever since he made it big when he was 23, he hasn't had a good project. And he's still playing these big boss CEO roles that are too beneath his ability. During last week's live stream, when I was talking about this, I suddenly had this metaphor, which just really came out of nowhere. I think of him as a lion who should be in the wild leading his kingdom, yet now he is forced into a circus and just jumping through fiery hoops. That's what he's doing with these dramas. Also, it makes me think that the whole thing about timing had him born 20 years earlier. Born into the age of the 80s, in his early 20s, in the early 2000s, he would have, just with what he looks like and what he can do, so much more interesting career than what he has now. Then let's move on to the period drama, both based on 仙剑奇侠传, this IP that is originally a game. In 2005, we've had 仙剑奇侠传 1 made into drama, Chinese Paladin 1, that's led by Hu Ge, Liu Yifei, Ai Yixuan, Liu Pingyan, that group of people. Then, 4 years later, in 2009, same kind of team made a drama based on 仙剑奇侠传 3, so the third game. And it's also led by Hu Ge, but this time with Liu Shishi, Tang Yan, Yang Mi, Huo Jianhua. These two dramas, number 1 and number 3 of the game IP, are the currently considered iconic 仙剑 IP adaptations. And they both have influenced pretty much the whole genre of fantasy idol dramas after them. Now we have this year the airing of the adaptation based on the 4th game and the 6th game. One is on iQIYI, one is on Tencent. The iQIYI one is led by Ju Jingyi, Chen Xingxu, Mao Xiaohui, Mao Zijun, and the Tencent one is led by Yu Shuxing, Xu Kai, also including Wan Peng and a couple of other people. Okay, I'm not familiar with their names. So, both dramas I've watched on day 1 when they went live. The 4th one, I'm pretty much by point episode 10 I've watched, and then for the 6th one I've watched the first 8 episodes, and that's what this video is based on. And I do not intend to go back to either dramas. These two dramas, in my opinion, are very similar in their quality. Both are very bad adaptation of the original IP, and in comparison to their predecessors of the 1st and the 3rd, just like don't compare in any department. I personally have played game 4, and that's the only game I've played through in very difficult ways to eventually see the ending animation of what happened to our main characters many years later. So personally, I have very strong emotional attachment to 4. Also, 4 has some very good music. Because of copyright, I wouldn't put them here, but I'll put links in my description and you can click into and listen to a couple of tunes that are used in the drama version, but also are from the game, and they're very good. And if you've ever played the game, you'll never be able to forget the tune till the day you die. Okay, that's the level of how successful the 4th game's music was. And for 6, I have no idea. So I watched these two dramas from a slightly different point of view. If we compare their similarities, apart from that they're both 36 episodes drama and fantasy idol drama, they are actually sinning in extremely similar ways. First, aesthetic visually, they are both very, very bad. The color is very, very bad. I don't know what went into the head of the color grading people, because when you shoot these days with digital, you can grade the shit out of the dramas if you want. Yes, you cannot push it beyond the fact that how much light you put into your camera, but still color-wise, what kind of saturation, what kind of contrast you want to play with, you have very big room. Yet both of them graded almost like it was taken straight out of a raw footage. Bleach the color out of the drama so much, and it's worse in the 6th one from Tencent than the 4th one, but both are very bad color graded. Lighting is extremely idol drama, which is very flat, very bright, and again the 6th one is worse in being super bright. When you are in a cave, it's still super bright. When you are at night, it's still super bright. And in comparison, at least 4, when it's night and in a cave, it's relatively darker and making more sense. And then when it comes to skin smoothing, 6 is a lot worse than 4. 4 is also not perfect, but 6 is wow. It smoothes people to the point where you cannot see the edge of their face and their neck. It blends into one part, and sometimes even the skin and the color of the clothing, because they're close enough and then they use too much smoothing, also blend into one thing. So sometimes you see a person there, you can't even tell what's the difference between their face and their neck and their clothing. It's just one blob of pink thing standing there. And then the 6 also sins more in green screen. Any average content creator in special effects these days on any platforms that has any viewers would do a better job than that. That's how I would, like, give me money, I'll do a better job than that. It looks so bad that it's embarrassing that it's something that came out in 2024. And then both have exact same fake set. It's fake background, fake plastic foamy trees, fake grass, as if they're, I don't know, like doing a high school stage play. I don't think there's a public number of how much the 6 on Tencent has cost, but the 4th on iQIYI supposedly costs over 300 million RMB. Divided by 7 is pretty much how much it would cost in US dollars, and honestly, you tell me, like, I believe that all that money actually went into the production. Yeah. So basically, I'm being constantly insulted as I'm watching both dramas. They're done by people who are just so bad at doing their professional jobs. They should be disqualified and banned from making dramas. Then, the plot and the characters and the acting of both dramas. Because the 6th one, I haven't played the game. I don't know how close they're staying with the original game. I'm just watching it as any average idol period drama. It is watchable, but I don't feel any emotional connections between any of the characters, whether it's male lead, female lead, or between like male lead with other supporting roles. And it's not completely cringy, but it's just average idol drama acting. After watching 8 episodes, I still haven't developed any emotional connection with any of the main characters at all. I literally don't care about what's gonna happen to them in the future. Then for the fourth one, because I know the game, I know how the story develops, so I was looking at the drama from a different angle. It's like, is it close to the game? It is weirdly close but not close at the same time, which means in terms of how they meet at the beginning and then what plot leads people to move around different locations in the story and develop and towards what direction, it is pretty much following the original game. The wild guy in the forest, played by Chen Xingxu, the male lead character Yun Tianhe, is like that in the game as well. He meets the girl first and then they go out of the mountain and go on their adventure and then runs into like Mu Yongziying or Liu Mengli, pretty much following the original story's line. But in terms of the details of when they actually meet each other, what happened, and what makes sense logically for people who've never met each other for the first time under that particular circumstance, for these detailed parts, they rewrite the story and it's completely not making sense. For example, Chen Zheyuan and Ju Jingyi's character, how they first met, it is the type of forced artificial sweetener moments that doesn't have any emotional grounding and super stupid with very superficial acting and terrible, again, CG. Then in terms of the acting, it has a very weird situation where the first lead couple, Yun Tianhe, Han Lingsha, played by Chen Zheyuan and Ju Jingyi, this pair is constantly overacting. And then the other pair, you can call it a pair, but yes, it's a pair, but then if you play the game, you'll know it's not necessarily a pair. Mu Yongziying and Liu Mengli, played by Mao Zijun and Mao Xiaohui. These two are completely underacting and not acting. So you have these weird comparison pair of one pair is moving their faces 10 different micro expressions in 1 second level of just moving their face like crazy, or just overacting with their bodies and constantly doing this. Then the other pair is two light poles standing there, completely wooden. Because the wooden acting is so wooden that I can't really say anything apart from they're wooden. But for the two overacting people, Ju Jingyi is trying very hard to act the character that she thinks Han Lingsha is. And at the beginning, I can actually deal with that and then find it's better than her previous roles. But if you're watching like 8 episodes in one go, it gets to a point where it's too much. And if she didn't have the person who is dubbing her, which is a very crispy, young, lively voice that actually fits her mouth very well and fits her character really well. If it's not that voice, her acting will have probably 30% less quality of what it has now. Chen Zheyuan, this is really bad. Like, I would say his acting in this drama is actually really bad compared to the contemporary dramas he's done before, or even period dramas such as 绝代双骄. I don't know what went into him, because I still remember the days of My Dear Ancestor when I was really impressed by his acting that came through really well and very relaxed and natural. Then that he has potential, but now over the years he's been working in drama and he kind of lost it, and now he's just acting so superficially. If you look at the beginning of the drama when he was chasing down that boar into the cave, he had to do this speech. It's like, you destroyed my parents' tomb and I'm gonna do something to you. Like, that overacting was so bad. If you do that type of acting trying to get into an acting academy, right? If you're in your audition, if you do that, you're definitely gonna get your name crossed out. It's so bad that I just don't even believe it comes from Chen Zheyuan. I don't know, like, can you actually regress this much? From day one, when I know that this drama is being made, I already had a bad feeling about it definitely not gonna do justice to my beloved Xianjian game. The only thing that I can feel a little bit consolation with while I was watching the drama was the fact that they do incorporate the game music. So for the period drama pair, Chinese Paladin adaptation of the 4th and 6th game on iQIYI and Tencent. Again, my opinion is neither of them worth your time. Idol fantasy dramas, you know, back in the days we had Hu Ge, Huo Jianhua, we had Yang Mi, Liu Shishi, Liu Yifei. We have those people who are, if you completely ignore whether they can act and how well they can act, even just looking at the faces is a lot more pleasurable than what you get now. I know, okay? It's a personal thing whether you think somebody is attractive or not, but I also believe beauty has a level of hard standard that you have to fulfill. The only winner of the airing of the 4th and 6th drama is Youku, who is actually not in the game, but because it holds copyright of Chinese Paladin 1 and Chinese Paladin 3, as soon as these two dramas aired, Youku sent out a public announcement on their platform saying, now come back and watch the first and third drama. We will put it temporarily free. So you don't have to have a Youku subscription for this period of time to rewatch the first and third drama. This is how Youku steal the game. They bought the copyright of 甄嬛传, and every year that drama gets looped by so many Chinese people that it still generates tens of millions of ad money for them. Do it once and get the income for the rest of your life situation. Youku is a master at doing that. And since we already mentioned 甄嬛传 very quickly, I just realized last night that Wen Sunli played 甄嬛 in 甄嬛传. She was 28 years old. Yu Shuxing this year is 28 years old. Ju Jingyi is 29 years old. And see the type of dramas they're in and the type of acting they can provide and sort of being an actress. It makes you think, what happened in the last 12 years? How far has it fallen? You know, that's why I cut a video from my weekly video now from my channel because too much crap. I feel bad wasting your time, but also my life too. So that's the combination of my opinions on 4 dramas, 2 pairs that are going on right now, January 2024. I hope this video has been useful for you to decide what you should check out and not check out and not waste your time on or waste your time on and saved you some time in this universe where time is in a linear fashion and once you lose it, you can't get it back. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy.